Oh my God! Hey, happy Tuesday! It's crazy. Did you guys see the Emmys the other day? What is that behind me? I am the Watcher. I have been watching every episode of Aristotle Full Throttle. I also have been watching every episode. I mean, I feel sorry for you. I mean, it seems like a fool's errand. Did you watch the Pandemies the other day? I watch everything. I did see the Pandemies. I saw that bow ties are totally in now. Ah, yeah, bow ties. I was wearing a bow tie. Apparently the Pandemies were indoors. They were inside during a pandemic. Seemed smart. I mean, you've got like a good social distance. I reside on the edge of the universe. Well, that seems far enough. Stay over there. That's a good distance. I mean, come on. Anyway, what's trending? Today we're going to talk about all of the things that Ben Simmons Space Force. What? Yes, I will. I'll be over here. I'll watch from over here. I don't blame you. Hello. Oh my gosh. Oh man. Both the Watcher and Seth Rogen don't like the show, but they watch every episode. I can't figure it out. Hey, what's up, everybody? Hello, my friends. Welcome back to the Aristotle Full Throttle Show. I'm excited to be here. Yesterday I wasn't here. I was working. Look at that. Work. Sometimes you get a job. You know what? That's what they tell us hippies. They go, get a job, you dumb hippie. And so I did. I got a job. I had a day job. I'm a gig worker, man. It's the gig economy, man. This camera's off. I had to actually use my camera, so I had to reset the camera. I feel like the chi is off. The Shang-Chi is off. You know, I still haven't seen Shang-Chi because it's only in theaters. So I'm like, I did see Candyman the other day, but we was all the way in the corner with our masks on, breathing through oxygen tanks. We didn't want to get any Delta variant. But we can talk about Candyman today. Let's talk about Candyman. Did you guys see Candyman? Uh-oh, I said it like 4 times already. Don't remind me not to say it again. Apparently you have to say you have to say it 5 times, kind of like Beetlejuice. Then, you know, he appears and then kills you. So that seems like a fun game, right? That seems like the greatest game out there. Hey, you guys want to get murdered? It's simple. Anyway.
You see what happens, Larry? You see what happens when you find a stranger in the Alps?
That is one of my favorite ADR moments. It's in the movie The Big Lebowski. By the way, a lot of people are surprised, spoiler alert, that Jeff Bridges is not the titular Big Lebowski. He's the dude, man. You know, it's very shocking to some people. They're like, I was watching The Big Lebowski for the first time, and he's not the Big Lebowski. That's the whole point. The other guy's the Big Lebowski. He's the Big Lebowski, man, and this aggression will not stand. So, thank goodness Jeff Bridges is doing better. He said he caught COVID. He's been fighting cancer. Man, oh man, he says it's in remission. Good for Jeff Bridges, because we need some more Jeff Bridges. And you know what we need? Another Tron movie. Right now. Can we get another Tron, please? Jeff Bridges, hang in there, because Tron 3 is coming out. I heard they are making a Tron 3. Love the Tron movies. Second one's good. The guy who directed the second one's coming back for the third one. I wonder if they're going to get Olivia back. Olivia. Hey, Raccoon Raiders, welcome to the show. And it would not be an official welcome were I not to play this. Were I not to play this. Raiders. Raccoon Raiders. Oof. I got my own show. Turns out when you have your own show, anything go. You can do whatever you want. And that's what I do here at Aristotle Full Throttle. Everybody who, everybody that I see out there, y'all gonna get an intro eventually. I don't have a new intro this week. It's been a few weeks since I made a new intro. I've been down. You know, it's hard. You got the pandemic blues sometimes. Sometimes you get down, you feel slow, you feel depressed, you can't really move too much, you feel lethargic. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes you forget your whole purpose. You ever forget your whole purpose? But I think it's fun to make people laugh and entertain people, so I do that. I'll do that. Why not? Also, I've just been depressed because my shoulder, I hurt my shoulder. It turns out pain, as a result of having an injury, you can experience depression and not really understand where your depression is coming from because you got an injury. Turns out. Also, I lost my car 6 weeks ago today. My car was a total loss 6 weeks ago today. And finally, we're wrapping up the paperwork so that I can get a new GD car. GD stands for goddamn. Good golly. What's trending, ladies and gentlemen? Ben Simmons, Philadelphia 76ers. Ben Simmons will not report to training camp next week. Just so you know. I was also worried about my hair because I feel like I cut too much of my hair off. I had like a massive hair situation going on recently, and never mind. I'm worried. Space Force. We're gonna use the Space Force, guys. What are we gonna use Space Force for? Blowing up the whole planet?
Do you want to go to war? Because we could go to war. I'm for real.
I think so. I think they're gonna blow up the whole planet. Why do we need a Space Force? Did you know that in the early 80s, when a television actor was president, before a reality TV star became president, there was a television actor who became president, and or a movie actor too. But he was a television actor. He used to sell cigarettes and stuff. He used to be, well, you could smoke these cigarettes and the ladies will think you're cool. By the way, you know, he had like slick, his name was Ronald Ray Gunn. He had a program that he wanted to dub the Star Wars program, which was basically space lasers, you know, that they make in Israel? Space lasers that shoot intercontinental ballistic missiles out of the air. And he wanted to title that program the Star Wars program. And good old George Lucas, our favorite George Lucas, who gave us the world of Star Wars, said, yo, man, don't call it Star Wars, please. Because my whole point of the Star Wars movies is because I'm anti-war. And I don't like war. And the whole point is, I branded that also. Trademark Star Wars TM, copyright 1977. Get out of here. You cannot use the words Star and then Wars. So good for George Lucas for putting his foot down and saying, hey, U.S. government, stop trying to cash in on my brand. And speaking of brands, this is the Aristotle Full Throttle Show. Please feel free to subscribe. You can subscribe, hang out. I'm going to give away a PS5. Why not? I just keep going up in the numbers of PlayStations. There's so many, it's hilarious because, how's the feed, by the way? Is it just too annoying to watch or listen to? Because if it is, I'm gonna go get another computer right now. I'm gonna go out the door and buy another computer this very moment. I've been saying that for a year, but this time I almost mean it. I'm just saying. Ow, my back. George Lucas, thank you. You could, oh yeah, I'm gonna give away a PS5. If you want to subscribe to my Twitch, you could get a PS5. Once I get to 200 subscribers on, not the PS5, but I will give something away once I get to 200 subscribers on Twitch. So if you're watching on Twitch, subscribe, because you might win like movie tickets or something. Something fun, you know? Not as big as a PS5. That's when I get to 10,000 subscribers, which is any day now. I'm just under 120 or something. So we're on our way. We're well on our way to 10,000. Thanks for watching. Let's check out what else is going on in the news. How are you today? I'd like to know. Inquiring minds like to know. By the way, you can listen to the direct feed if you are a member on Discord, because the Discord voice channel is always open, so you could just listen straight away on the Discord. Put your phone down and listen to the clear feed. It's right there for you. What's going on? Space Force has released new prototypes for the Guardian Service dress uniform. Cool. Do they go around going, I'm an astronaut, I'll shoot your missiles out of the sky? Look at them. You know, they should... Their old logo looked exactly like Star Trek. Oh, but now it looks like Battlestar Galactica, which is just so great. This is why I love fiction. This is why I love science fiction. Because, you know, art imitating reality, reality imitating art. This is how we do. This is how us people do. We don't really have a... You know, there's no real... original thought. There's just the only way you make original thoughts is if you Google it. Joy Reid. No one is looking for us. With all the coverage of Gabby Petito. Oh, this is what I wanted to talk about today, particularly Gabby Petito. Listen, she's from my neck of the woods. She's from Long Island. She's from what? Bayport, Blue Point? That is not too far from where I grew up, actually. And interestingly enough, sadly, she was kidnapped. However, the media coverage of the kidnapping of this person was overwhelming. TikTokers, media, everybody just blowing it up. And this is trending right now. Missing white woman syndrome. Now, this is something I've noticed in particular. I actually tweeted a more comprehensive list of the missing persons, the latest missing persons that the FBI, that are basically being tracked by the FBI. And there's tons of people missing. People go missing every day. This is sad. This is a true fact of life. People go missing all the time. However, you might notice, as I have, being a brown person in America, that the TV loves to see... I don't like to sound like Bill Cosby. I'm trying to work the Bill Cosby out of my... I'm going to sound more like... I'm going to try to sound more like Dave Chappelle. Or, here's an original thought. Why not develop my own voice? That's a good one. The point is, people love to sensationalize when a pretty white girl goes missing. However, there are tons of people that go missing all the time. And it's not covered as that much. It's not sensationalized to the degree it is with these folks in our society, in America. You know, the late, great Norm Mcdonald. I've been just listening to so much Norm Mcdonald lately because he was one of my favorite comedians of all time. I'm not even joking. He's like one of my favorite straight shooting. Just the thing that made him so funny is he was just always in the moment, observing reality and just describing reality. And people would laugh because he's just saying the things no one else wants to say. For instance, I was listening to a podcast he was on about 12 years ago, and this is before Black Lives Mattered. So he was talking, he was just like, yeah, you know, black people don't have as much money as white people. And the podcast hosts seemed so offended. They were like, what are you talking about? That's a stereotype. He's like, no, it's a statistical fact. And they were like, well, I don't want to hear it. He's like, well, then, okay. He's just basically stating the fact. He's like, in America, black people don't have as much money as white people. It's just And then like someone was like, well, you know, I know black people. Then they've got. He's like, he goes, so you're saying the few black people that you've met and interviewed on this show, they seem to be doing pretty well. He's like, but I'm talking about black people in America don't have as much money as white people. And they were like, well, that's a stereotype. So, yeah, you guys, don't go on. He's like, okay, well, then he's like, why you guys... And they were saying that's racist. He's like, no, it's racist to deny that. He's like, I'm not being racist. You're being racist. And it was funny because he's just nonchalantly saying this the whole time. And they were just so offended and so like... They were clutching their pearls the whole time, and he didn't care because he didn't care about anything as far as like if he stated what was in front of his face and described it, and everybody got upset by it. He didn't care about that because he was just like, I'm just describing the thing in front of me, and he wasn't trying to be political at all. He was just saying, I'm not trying to be political. I'm just saying. And then they were like, well, that's just a generalization at XYZ. And then he said, all right, then fine, you guys win. Black people have more money than white people. And then just the concept of hearing that, just that landing on people's ears is definitely makes people think, I think, for a second. It probably jump scares them a little bit. Probably like, oh wait, that does sound wrong. Oh man.
I have a certificate.
Anyway, guys, no one is, it's really important that we, it's funny, my viewer count goes up and then it goes down. I'm watching the viewer count go up and then go back down. So I think people are tuning in medias res, and they're just like, he's talking about black people. Uh-oh, we should go. Let's leave. I'm just talking about my experience in America. It is one of those things. That is why, you know, that's why I'm doing a show. Something I have control over. You know, you gotta have control over whatever. You don't have any control over anything else other than your own decisions and how you play that day. I was listening to this guy talking about stoicism. He said, you know, you don't have control over the other players, you have control over the way you play. You don't have control over the weather, you have control over the way you play. You don't have control over, you know, where the ball is, you have control over the way you play. So, that's it. If you're playing the game, that's all you have control over. You know, ooh, I just heard something smash. Did you guys hear that? Let's see. Someone is messaging me. I'm getting a bunch of spam on Discord because I joined like a financial server, and everybody's like, oh, let me just spam you. I'm also getting a lot of spam from car dealerships because they're like, oh, you need a car? Let me sink my meat hooks into you. So, but I get like 5 emails and 10 phone calls a day from car dealerships because I signed up on TrueCar and Carvana, and because I need a new car. I don't have a car. I live in Los Angeles and I don't have a car. I got a call back from my car insurance because I decided, because nobody was getting back to me for like 2 weeks and I just had one question, like, I was like, excuse me, I have a single question. Can someone respond to it? I've called Geico several times, stayed on hold for 90 minutes at a time until I could get somebody, and they're like, I would get somebody on the phone and they'd say, oh yeah, we'll email the person you're trying to contact. And I'm like, I've already emailed them. And they're like, okay, then we'll leave a voicemail with them. And I said, I've already left voicemails with them and they haven't called me back. I would like to buy a new car. I'm walking in LA right now, and no one walks in LA. There's a song, literally, there's a song about it. And then they said, okay. So finally what I did was, my last resort was to email every single email that I found on the website for Geico. And said, hey, just give me a call back. I just would like a call back maybe. Because they assigned me. Listen, I don't think I went full Karen. I think I went full comedy. I said, like, maybe we'll get a call back. Maybe this will work. And guess what? It did. I got a call back. And now when I email Edwin Delgadillo over at Geico, he gets right back to me. It's a miracle. I got a phone call this morning, and they said, from Geico, they said, we saw that you gave us a number of emails. We wanted to make sure that all of your questions were answered. I'm like, well, I still got questions because it's not done yet, so. But I do appreciate a callback. Thank you. Oh, man. You don't have control over that. That's today's lesson. You have control over the way you play. That's it. But this Gabby Petito case, man, I feel very bad. I feel very sorry. I also feel very sorry for all of the other folks who are missing loved ones and discovering perhaps that they were victims of domestic abuse and domestic violence and murder, which is just freaking horrible, guys. This happens every day to lots of people. And the fact that we only pay attention to, like, Gabby Petito and instead of... I saw some statistic that like 760 indigenous women went missing in Wyoming. None of them got the media coverage that Gabby Petito got. Hello. Hello all. Welcome.
These aren't the droids you're looking for.
They are the droids I'm looking for. Welcome, Noel Dreyer 2. I appreciate you guys supporting the channel. What do you guys think? She's from Long Island. This guy is, here's an interesting thing. Gabby Petito's dad hit the nail on the head, first of all. I do feel bad for the situation. However, this is a situation that's brought to everyone's attention, and there are many other situations very much like this every day. It's very shocking, but it's always there's a trend among the most sensationalized stories, and that is that, it's a white lady who's missing, or a white kid who's missing, and black kids, Asian kids, indigenous kids going missing all the time, guys. Let's pay a little, if you want to put that much effort into it, if you are that concerned, there are people out there that still may be found alive, so put that concern and effort toward those folks who might still be out there. I have information available for that on my Twitter if you'd like to go find that. I actually shared that with people who were like mad about it yesterday or 2 days ago when they presumably found Gabby Petito's body. They said, the people were like, how could you guys be upset that she's not, that other people, people were saying, how could you guys mention the lost black women and the missing indigenous women right when they announced her death? It's like, well, they're like, this isn't the time to talk about it. This is not the time. It's never the time. So what I did was, I said, well, then I'll remind you again in 2 weeks. So how about that? How does that work? And I will. I'll remind these people in 2 weeks and say, hey, is this a good time? Good time now? Can we talk about it? How about that? It's really interesting how it's never the time to talk about something important. I think when most people are thinking about that thing is the best time to talk about it. I'm just saying. Last year, when George Floyd was murdered in the streets, and for all of us to see by the police, we said, hey, how about we talk about police violence, killing black people in the streets. It's a good time to talk about it. Not many people talking about it now. I think there's other things on their mind, like coming out of the pandemic and stuff. But I would say that Gabby Petito's father hit the nail on the head with the laundry kid. The kid who's, between me and you, I think the dude, her boyfriend, her fiance, Gabby's fiance, laundry machine, what is his name? I think, now, call me crazy, he seems like a prime suspect, having left her there and gone back to his parents' house, and then that's it. And now, for instance, this is what I was going to say, Gabby Petito's father hit the nail on the head, because they were saying that this Brian kid, the fiance, that he is missing. And Gabby Petito's dad said, he is not missing. Gabby was missing. Brian is hiding. Please change that. He is hiding. That was a good way to... Let's reframe that. He is hiding. The guy's he's a worm. You know what I mean? He's a little worm. But it's really important to recognize domestic violence. It's crazy. Men and women and men also are the victims of domestic violence, which a lot of people don't appreciate when a man is the victim of domestic violence. They don't appreciate it as much or consider it, because they were saying, I guess they didn't recognize, the cops that pulled over Gabby and Brian didn't recognize the telltale signs of violence in their relationship. Apparently they were considering Gabby the primary aggressor in their altercation. But, you know, it's really difficult to say who is the primary aggressor. This is an interesting fact that I learned in child psychology.
Wesley.
Corn pop was bad, dude.
Hi, Wesley. How are you? How's school going? Are you back in school? It's crazy. Also, oh, you're not gonna get this one. Here, hold on. Let's play a game here. She won an Oscar for 3 billboards. Let me get one that you can get. We're gonna play a game here. Guess the movie. This actor plays Donnie in The Big Lebowski. This actor is known for playing every age. This actor is a fireman. This actor's from Long Island. He's from I think he's from Valley Stream. This actor is let's see. What else is this actor in? He's in a lot. He was in Boardwalk Empire. He was the main guy in Boardwalk Empire. I'm giving you guys clues like Blue's Clues, so you could try to guess what this actor is. This actor is... He's in Billy Madison, very briefly. He's in Airheads. Let me just go through his list of movies. He's in a lot of movies. All right, let's keep going. That actor is also in The Big Lebowski. Oh, here we go. Oh no. Let me find one that you might get. Oh, these are all. Let's see. Well, yeah, Steve Buscemi. There you go. You got it. Ding, 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 ding. Good job, Steve Buscemi. Anyway, I was just saying, I learned something in child psychology. This is an interesting thing. When I was taking classes in child psychology in college, a lot of times parents will come into the room, and the 2 kids, right? They'll have like 2 kids, say, and one kid's crying, "Oh no, Johnny hit me. My brother Johnny, he hit me," right? And the kid's crying, and then the parents will coddle the crying son, and they'll say, "Sorry that your brother's is such a big jerk," right? And they'll say, "Johnny's a jerk. He hit you." And they'll comfort the crying kid, and they'll punish the other kid. Here's the thing: when you use a hidden camera, oftentimes the kid who is being punished is the victim of the aggression, the initial aggression, the antagonist, being antagonized, the antagonization. So the crying kid will do this. They'll constantly torment the other kid throw things at them, hit them, constantly torment them until a kid will act impulsively and then shove the kid off of him, hit the kid. The kid will fall, start crying, and say, "Oh, I got hit by my older brother." A lot of times people don't recognize who the initial aggressor is, who the person who is originally the antagonist is. So it's interesting. You have to really separate the kids and get the stories from the kids. You have to really, or have a hidden camera, figure out who's doing what. Oftentimes, the person who is appears to be the victim, because oftentimes abusers like to play the victim. That is a thing. That's a true story. It's a true story. Look it up. Google it. A lot of interesting things I learned in psychology. This actor, this guy, he said this. There's a lot of things he said in movies that I cannot say on my show because my show is rated PG-13. This actor was in the Godfather movies, all 3 Godfather movies. He is the Godfather, sort of. Well, he becomes the Godfather. He's not the original. He's not the consigliere or whatever. I mean, I guess that was played by Robert Duvall. This actor, he goes, "Hooah!" He's in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. In the very beginning, he plays an old-timey movie executive. This actor right here. You guys know? He talks like that. I can't do an impression of this guy, so I'm not going to try anymore. Anybody guess? Anybody have a guess? Anybody out there? Anybody have a guess? Counting down. This actor, very famous Italian-American actor. He was in the movie Heat with Robert De Niro. One of the greatest scenes. He's also in The Godfather 2 with Robert De Niro, except they don't share the screen in The Godfather 2 with Robert De Niro. They don't ever share the screen. He gives Fredo a kiss of death. That sends Fredo out on a boat. Just this actor. This actor, right here on this card. Anybody. If you guys have a guess, leave it in the chat. And I'll give you access to Discord. How about that? We'll do that. You hang out on Discord and talk about your Matrix movie theories. Those are always fun. Those are always fun. Well, ladies and gentlemen, other things are trending. Montero. The album Montero by Lil Nas X is out. Incredible. Number 1 trending is rap. Is it rap, though? Sort of, it's musical. Rap, in my mind, is melodic. It's half-spoken, but there are incredible artists like Anderson .Paak who can rap and also sing and also play the drums. Al Pacino, hey! There it is. Al Pacino. Good on you. Thank you for playing. You already have access to Discord, so congratulations on already being cool. Boy, oh boy. Yes. Pacino. I got stuff going on. Hopefully. Here's the thing. Future's unset. There's no fate but what we make. You know, you guys see Terminator movies? They're great. The first 2 anyway. Every single Terminator movies are excellent, all the way up to Terminator 2. And there are 6 of them. There are 6 Terminator movies. Wrap your mind around that. There are 6 Terminator movies, and 2 of them are good. The rest, here's the funny thing. I was at the movie theaters, and I'm watching Terminator, whatever, Dark Fart, or whatever it's called, and I was at the theater, I took a picture of the audience. There were 11 people in the dome, in the Cinerama Dome in LA, and this was when you could go to the movies and go inside. I was in the Cinerama Dome, and I counted 11 people in the entire theater, and it seats a couple hundred. That was sad. I was like, oh, the Terminator Not a good franchise anymore. They even brought back Linda Hamilton. I thought that was excellent. I thought she was great in it. But, you know, you never know. Hollywood is a fickle jerk. It's true. Anything can happen. You can't control Hollywood. You can only control how you play. That's what we're learning today, everybody. You can only have control over your own actions and how you play the game. How you play, not how anyone else plays. That's like chess. What's up, Ange? Nice to see you.
Say, baby, I can destroy everything. But I'm not. What? But I can. Baby. Shut up and give us your money.
Ange's intro, one of the best. Ange, hey, I'm watching, I'm on like episode 10 or 11 of Superman and Lois, and I'm liking it. It's real good. It's a real good show. Ange, ladies and gentlemen, is our resident DC expert. She's our consultant for all things DC. I would say that she's an expert. But I gotta tell you, it's a good show. If you guys are watching Superman and Lois, it's a fun show. I'm enjoying it. It's good. Yeah, you like it. You know why? Because Superman, if you... I know that you liked Henry Cavill. What's it? It's like Henry Cavill. Cavill? Henry Cavill. I remember he said it rhymes with something. Travel. Yeah, Henry Cavill. It rhymes with travel. Henry Cavill. I think he did a good job, generally speaking, but I think his direction was bad. I think that we've been having this debate for over a year now, Ange. Superman's, and the Man of Steel movie was like, I'm sad. I'm super sad, man. And Superman has always a positive outlook, and I mean, he had a lot of torment growing up, but I feel like the whole character is that he's got this, he's always sunny, so to speak. That is a pun also, because Superman gets his powers from the sun. His last name rhymes with travel, yes. Jinx, we got it. We just said it at the same time. Michael Jackson, here's a trend right now. Here's what's trending. Is Drake in 2021 bigger than Michael Jackson at his peak? The answer to that is no. Let's see. Also, how is that even a trend? Just the answer is no. Anyway, Superman and Lois, great show. I enjoy it. I'm really enjoying it. I like the... Yeah, the answer is no. Yeah, I don't know, like, I think they try to revise history. I know that Michael Jackson... It's weird. Michael Jackson, obviously, he tainted his own career by being an evil monster. But his music, you could dance to it. It's pretty good. So what are we gonna do? I think the music will live on. I think that Picasso was also a jerk to women. Picasso was not a very friendly guy. Apparently, I don't know. But, he's pretty good painter. He's a pretty good painter, that Picasso. Bill Murray, actor, comedian, and writer. Bill Murray turned 71. What? 71?
What?
What?
That's amazing. Bill Murray is 71. Happy birthday, Bill Murray. Wow. Wow, oh wow. Bill Murray. What a contributor to popular culture and comedy. I do enjoy that Bill Murray. He's a funny guy. I don't think he's ever done stand-up. I think he's always been funny. He's just a funny guy. You just put him out there and he makes you laugh. But speaking of funny guys, I do want to also, let's just spend some good amount of time remembering Norm Mcdonald. What a funny guy. Just always funny, always calling it like he saw it. And it's just entertaining to watch. It's entertaining to watch him just say the things that are in front of his face. He was an anti-comedian, I call him. Let's see. Iron Dome. I wonder if he was there when I saw an episode of Saturday Night Live in like 2000. You know, one of my favorite things about Norm Macdonald, I'll just say this, and then we'll move on from Norm Macdonald, is he got fired from Saturday Night Live because Don Ohlmeyer, one of the executives at NBC, didn't like the fact that almost every week Norm Macdonald on Weekend Update would make fun of and call out O.J. Simpson and be like, you know, the guy, he murdered his wife and a waiter. He would always state that. And then when O.J. was acquitted, Norm said, well, it's official. Murder is now legal in California. It was hilarious. Week after week, he didn't care. He just said jokes about that. And then Don Ohlmeyer, being friends with O.J. Simpson, fired Norm Macdonald. And then a year and a half later, Norm came back, and I want to see if I can play. Anyway, the long and short of it, Norm was invited back to host Saturday Night Live because he had a hit TV show. Suddenly he had a hit TV show, a hit sitcom, and Saturday Night Live said, hey, can you come back and host? So when he came back to host SNL, he's like, oh, you know, it's funny. He just came right out. He's like, I was fired from this very show, which is a comedy show. So I was fired from a comedy show, which means I'm not funny. Must mean I'm not funny. So and that was about a year and a half ago. So I'm just wondering what happened in the last year and a half that made me so goddamn funny. Just basically crapping on the entire establishment, saying, suddenly, he's like, and then he said, well, I figured it out. I didn't get funny. The show got worse. So the show's not funny, and that's why I'm hosting. Amazing. Amazing. He was hilarious. He was one of the funniest comedians and had his own brand and could just say words and you would laugh because he would be saying things that were the things that are just, he would say whatever came to his mind. And it was always the thing that was the elephant in the room. Even if you said there's an elephant in the room, he's like, I don't see an elephant. I mean, if there was an elephant in the room, yeah, we'd have to talk about it. We'd be like, oh, there's an elephant. Look out. He could step on you. God, I could just enjoy all of that guy's mind, his comedy all day. If you get the chance, listen to Bob Saget talking about Norm Macdonald on Bob Saget's YouTube channel. It's very touching, very emotional. Bob Saget, who directed, by the way, Dirty Work, the movie with Norm Macdonald and Artie Lang. Two great comedians. Artie Lang, very troubled comedian. But, yeah. I don't want to do a disservice to Norm Macdonald's comedy. I think if people didn't get Norm Macdonald, that was even more entertaining. It's even more entertaining for people who are like, I don't get it. Because it becomes meta. Because then Norm can just do the jokes and people will not be on the receiving end of it. They won't be on that wavelength. They won't get what he's doing, which is just making fun of existence itself. And the situation. He, for instance, when he was roasting Bob Saget, he didn't want to roast Bob Saget. So he just said like these dumb, lame jokes the whole roast. And a lot of people said he bombed at the roast. He didn't bomb. He was basically Andy Kaufmaning it. And every time they cut back to Norm Macdonald on the dais, he was reading the sports section of the paper. He'd be like, eh? But he said, you know, he loved Bob Saget and he didn't want to roast him. So the jokes were like third grade jokes. He would just read them. He's like, yeah, you know, your face looks like a cauliflower. Yes, I'm saying you're ugly. Amazing. I don't know. I can't. It's those things that I find funny.
It's a riddle.
What else is trending? Is it Kaufman or Kaufman? Kaufman? Charlie Kaufman? I don't know. He's also from Long Island. Hey, Ange, have you been following the Gabby Petito story? You know, the story that everybody followed in the country, so basically ignoring every other person who has been missing since the last couple weeks. Sadly, they did find Gabby Petito, likely. But, you know, there's lots of people out there, brown, black, indigenous, who are they're not giving this media attention. It's just one of those things. And people are like, wow, how can you say that? It's so soon after she died. I'm like, well, if you're that interested in finding missing persons, now's the time to invest that interest in finding other missing persons who might still be out there. Yeah, and I'm telling you, it's one of those things where when, and it's just, look, it's trending. It's called missing white woman syndrome. It's missing white woman syndrome. We can't, for some reason, this whole country only cares when like a pretty white girl goes missing or a pretty white kid goes missing. They're like, oh, the little kid, they're white. Now we care. There was one thing I saw on the internet. There was a tweet from Kayleigh McEnany, our favorite racist White House press secretary, former White House press secretary. She was like, let our hearts and minds go out to the Petito family. And I'm like, would you have said that if she was black? No. There are dog whistles here in the United States. There are people here who are stoking the flames of racism and division. And, I don't know. What's the end game there? What are you gonna do? Like, I don't get what the end game is there. You want to just separate everybody? Separate everybody out? Once you do that, you're gonna find a new scapegoat in your little communities of white people, and that's what it's never ending. You gotta learn how to live. You gotta control how you play. You can't control your environment. You can control how you act in your environment. And this is today's lesson. For me. I have to remind myself this every day. Meanwhile, if a little brown girl goes, well, yeah, that's true. I tell you. People, it's amazing. I tweeted out. If anybody who is interested, you can go to the FBI.gov and look for the latest missing persons. And, maybe commit, maybe tweet about them. A lot of them are brown, black, indigenous. Somehow, for some reason, we don't care. People are like, well, she was a YouTuber. And it's like, oh, she wasn't really. Was she a YouTuber? I don't know that much about the story. But the dude definitely did it, though, in my opinion. I wasn't there, but I don't know, but we all know.
Stop all the downloading!
What else is going on? Ange, how you doing out there? We had an earthquake the other day here in Los Angeles. Let me show you. Let me demonstrate what it was like. I was sitting there on a couch and I went like this. And then I looked up and my lights were all shaking like this. And then I went on Twitter. This is how you verify if there's an earthquake. You go on Twitter. And then as soon as you go on Twitter, it'll be like, earthquake, 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 earthquake. #1 trend, earthquake. So that's how we in Los Angeles find out if we're like, did you just feel that? Yeah. But it was just like this. I was just sitting there and it was like, I felt like Star Trek. You know what I mean? No whiplash, no damage. I was okay. Just felt like someone was like, shoved me off my couch a little bit. I was like, wait. I felt like a wave, like you're on a boat. Like, I mean, it literally is a wave. Compressions and rarefactions. I always wanted to travel abroad until Taken came out and I realized I'm brown. I have a particular set of skills. Hey, Ant. Don't forget this, though.
I can destroy everything, but I'm not. But I can.
I'm just saying. And you could be like, I have a particular set of skills. I will find you. I have to be a little more nasally. I have a particular set of skills. I'm working on it. I should do. I actually played Qui-Gon Jinn I did the voice of Qui-Gon Jinn in a reimagining of the Star Wars prequels. It was a lot of work. I had to talk like this. The boy has midichlorians. We have to save the boy. I don't know. You have to be a little bit more nasally. I should have put it like it. I should have held my nose the whole time. I sound like a pirate now. Totally pirate.
Hello, computer.
Yeah. So those are the trends today. I mean, oh, and did you see Candyman? I saw Candyman. It was good. I liked it. I haven't seen Shang-Chi yet. I want to see Shang-Chi. I might go tonight. I might go this week just by myself and sit with a gas mask on my head, put a fishbowl over my head, and go watch it. Because he has a good voice, but I give him side eye after that interview. Oh, yeah. And here's the thing about that interview that I feel like was taken out of context. I think that this is what I was talking to Khalid about recently. I feel like also Shang-Chi is problematic because he was comparing gay people to pedophiles. Out of context. Guys, that's out of context. Now, Shang-Chi, the actor who plays Shang-Chi, was misinformed. And this was 7 years ago or something like that. He said on Reddit, and he was like, hey, I was doing research, and it was like, he was trying to say that it's like you're sort of born and something in your brain that dictates your sexuality. He was trying to say that in like the dumbest way and not in an expert way at all. And he wasn't saying it. He was saying it like in a very misinformed way. And people are like, oh, you're problematic, bro. We got to fire you. We got to cancel you. And the problem with that is, excuse me. The problem with that is that you got to give people room to grow. You got to give people, if he came out and said, oh yeah, that's what I thought 7 years ago when I said that thing. When 7 years ago, when I said that, that's what I thought. But now I think this, and I've since learned, I was corrected, and here I am. The thing with Liam Neeson, I believe you're talking about the interview where he said that when he was a young man, around 20, or in his teens, he knew a woman who was murdered by a black person. So he felt in his heart, as a young man, that he needed to do something. And so what he did was he went out on the streets looking to just beat up any black person he saw. And this is what he said in the interview. He also said, since then, I have realized that there's nothing to that thought. That was a horrible thought that I had. And I've come to realize that how the error of my ways. I understand. Listen, it's not for everybody. It's okay if you don't want to like Liam Neeson after that interview. I just think that because he's damn near 70 and he's talking about when he was 17, I think a lot of time goes by and you can go, oh, he is saying that when he said this is the thing for me. I feel like people would be like, Aristotle says he's a vegetarian, but here's a picture of him eating a slice of pepperoni pizza in high school. Liar. You could give him a side eye. The fact that he had that thought in his head is horrible, but literally, he said that. Literally, Liam Neeson said, the fact that I had that thought in my head is horrible. And he sees that a lot of people are misguided and have that thought in their head and haven't figured out that that's not the right thought to have. Which to me is more compelling and more interesting to his character. The fact that he had that thought, worked through it after 2 weeks of his life. He said he went around for 2 weeks and that's all he could think of. And then he realized that that was misguided and wrong. That is more interesting to me. That is the fact that he grew and became the person he is, or decided that that was the wrong thing and acknowledged that, is way more interesting to me than someone who did that when they were 17 and are still doing it when they're 70. It's more interesting to see a pattern of growth to me, personally, I don't like the being held accountable for things you did when you were 20, when you're 40, 60, 80. I don't necessarily... I know you're a full-grown adult when you're 20, but you can't drink yet. You could die in the military, but you can't drink. But if there are people, like, for instance, there's like one of these high officials from the KKK in Texas or something like that. And he realized I've been doing all the wrong things. I've been in the KKK, and he adopted like a bunch of black kids, and he's like now the dad of a bunch of black kids. That's a little bit more interesting, isn't it? To me. He gets like Sean Connery. I love Sean Connery, but the interview with Barbara... Sean Connery was... to bring it full circle, speaking of domestic abusers, Sean Connery... Are you talking about the one where he's like, it's okay to hit a woman? It's never okay to hit anyone, period. Unless you're fearing for your life. Which is... Sean Connery. He's gone, right? He died this year, I think. Yeah, that guy... It's never okay to hit anybody. Just remember that. It's never okay. Unless you're about to get murdered. Unless you're fearing for your life. Unless you're fearing for your personal safety, I'd say. I'd say unless there's someone attacking you or your loved one, it's not okay. I mean, if you were to attack me or a loved one, you're gonna see... You're gonna see some violence, but I think it's justifiable. He died on Halloween. Ooh, he's gonna come back as a toupee.
Impressive. Most impressive.
I'm just saying that it's interesting because I was watching, I think it was last week tonight, and there was a woman who was fired from a publication for like two not good tweets that she made several years ago. She called her white friend the N-word. She said, "What's up, my N-word?" And then she got fired by a woman who was at the top of this publication, who also turned out had some ugly tweets come back around again. It's crazy. It's crazy out there. You can't do anything. You can't do anything. I mean, you can. I mean, I am. Who knows? I can't even remember what I was like 2 years ago, to be honest. I can't even remember the person I was 2 years ago. I was in a situation that was not savory as far as, you know, with a theme of domestic violence. I was not in a good relationship a few years ago. It was abusive toward me. And then I said, "Oh, well, yeah, I don't have to take this. I can leave. I'm gonna leave." Took a while though, because you find yourself in that situation. People are like, why did you stay in that situation? And I'm like, you don't look for that situation to be in. You find yourself in it. Suddenly you're in that situation. You're like, how is this? Oh, it's little by little. They test your boundaries. They test your... Oh, thanks, Ange. I appreciate that. But, you know, it's one of those things. But it does come back. Suddenly you get PTSD. Like, something happens to somebody drops a glass on the floor and it breaks. You're like, quit throwing things. That's your reaction. What are you throwing now? What are you smashing now? What are you throwing at me now? But, you know, people can be violent. It's never okay. It's never okay to be a victim of that violence. It's never okay to listen. Again, people like Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, going back to the full circle of who the primary aggressor can be, there are videos and audio recordings of Amber Heard being the primary aggressor to Johnny Depp, even though she went out and claimed that he was abusing her. On these recordings, Johnny Depp is saying, "Why are you abusing me? Why are you hitting me? Why are you throwing things? Why are you cutting me? Why are you physically assaulting me?" A situation that men find themselves in. Believe me. And she said the same thing that most abusers said. No one's gonna believe you. No one will believe you. No one will believe that you were attacked by a woman. Nobody will believe that I took off part of your finger. No one will, like, it's even harder. It's even harder for dudes. I wouldn't say it's harder for dudes. I would say that a lot of times it's not easier or harder for anybody, but a lot of times it's more acceptable to withstand it if you are a dude. So I don't know. A lot of times it's definitely, you know what I'm saying. I don't want to be talking out of school here. Even though I'm not. I'm talking from first-hand experience. I'm just saying, you don't tolerate it. If you find yourself in that situation, reassess. If you can. It's hard. Because you're like, wait a minute. This person says that they're gonna not do that again. And then they do it again, and then you're like, oh, that's not cool. They did the thing that they said they're not gonna do again. And then they keep doing it. Oftentimes they'll just keep doing it. So you gotta, unless they have some kind of revelation, which is, look, don't stick around for their revelation. It's not your responsibility. But all I do is win, no matter what. I'll tell you, it's not. There's inequalities in all different shapes and forms. But Shang-Chi, man, that dude, he said some stupid things. The actor, the Canadian guy that plays Shang-Chi, he said some stupid things. But if he can see that he said some stupid things and explain why he is... Well, thanks, Ange. I'm sorry that it happened to me too. But I learned from it. Here's the thing that I learned from it, Ange. I trusted people to not do those things before, which is a good thing, because it means that before that situation, I didn't encounter people on that level who were like that, who would do those things, which is a good thing. So I spent a large part of my life, most of my life, around decent people. People who were like treat you with respect and decently. And now I know, oh, not everybody does that. Not everybody can do that. Not everybody is equipped mentally to... They just can't do it. You don't get angry at someone for, I am angry at this person, at this situation. I'm angry at the situation. I'm not angry at the person. The person's troubled. Okay? I can't do anything about that. I can only control how I play, which was to get the hell out of there. But just angry at the situation. You say, I could have done this. Can't do anything. You can only control how you play. Well, it got deep suddenly. Got crazy deep. It just sneaks up on you sometimes. You're just like, uh-oh. Talking about Amber Heard. Listen, Amber Heard, beautiful actress. Maybe, and I can only suspect this, has gotten away with this before in other relationships. So she just expected Johnny Depp, and, clearly they were in some kind of domestic violent situation, because Johnny Depp has scars and recordings, but Johnny Depp was considered the abuser in that situation. But take note. Appearances can be deceiving. Appearances can be deceptive. As Brad Pitt says in Burn After Reading. Amazing. Guys, if you ever get the chance...
Oh, that's cool.
Watch Burn After Reading. It's so funny. It's so funny. Oh my god. appearances can be deceptive. Oh man, I might watch that right now. It's so funny. I hope you guys find yourself in good spirits and happy. I hope that you're having a wonderful Tuesday. Remember, you can only control how you play the game. You can't control how the game goes. You can't control the weather. You can't control anybody else in the game. Just how you play the game. And by the game, I mean life. It really is liberating to know that.
Ooh, that's a bingo.
I love that sound effect. It's the authenticity of the joy that Christoph Waltz is experiencing in that.
Ooh, that's a bingo.
That's a bingo. Another Brad Pitt movie. Great movie. But, take care of yourselves. And others. That's all you really need to do. What else is there? What else is there? Fast cars? Yachts? Elephants? Elephants are cool. Giraffes. You know, giraffes have the same number of bones in their neck that we do. 7 bones or something. People think they got like 50 bones in their neck, like a snake's spine. No, they just got 7 long bones. I mean, that's it. I think that's it. I'm gonna go get a new car, hopefully soon. I'm gonna go watch this new. I'm gonna listen to the new Lil Nas X album. I hear it's good. I mean, I like that song he did a couple weeks ago. He came out with. There's a new BTS. BTS addressed the world leaders and performs at the UN General Assembly. BTS taking over the world. Look out! Here come BTS. Let me just make sure I covered all of the things. Boba Fett. The book of Boba Fett is coming out this December. Remember that? Oh, we're not far away from that. We're gonna have some group watches of that. So let's do it. Let's watch those. And check out Superman and Lois. It's good. Lots of twists. I was like, oh, they threw me for a loop for a couple times. Some interesting things happening. Some interesting and dumb things sometimes, but I'm like, I'm gonna go with it. Because whatever. It's comic. It's a serial show. I like the version of Superman. I think he's the best version of Superman that we've had in the last 30 years. Cool. You going to work on this thing you're writing? Oh, well, look, I can't wait to hear about it. Share it in the show and tell. Thank you guys for watching. Be safe. Don't go changing. Unless you're a jerk, then change your attitude, man. It's important.